is the September 12th, 2023 meeting of the Acushnet Public Library Board of Trustees. We are being audio taped and videotaped, and we do have a quorum. First item on the agenda today is the minutes from August 9th. Anyone have any questions or clarifications to those minutes? If not, we need a motion.
Motion to accept those minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the budget.
All right. So we are close to the end of the first quarter, so I believe September 30th is the end of our first quarter. So that means there'll be another pay period and some more invoices, and we should be close to about, in total, I would say roughly around 23% when I do the next payment period for the end of this month. So I believe we are in good standing. The budget line, material line, we are a little bit low, below, but with fall coming up and winter, so that means there'll be a lot more published from popular authors. So we might be purchasing additional copies for certain items that will have a long list of holds. And around the DVDs is still something that we're below on spending because of there's not really much being put out. So we'll have to maybe put that money towards physical books. And then now with Ren in the children's room position, I have been ordering children's books, but hopefully we can order a lot more in terms of just not the popular items.
Are we still having an issue with getting the books in? Like, are they still kind of, I don't want to say backlogged, but like it was kind of an issue with like.
It was Ingram where we mostly purchased our books has been much better.
Oh, good. So that's.
I would say like last year it was delayed. And sometimes it was a mess. I know I wasn't here, but I was using Ingram in my previous job. But it's definitely much better.
Good.
Oh yes.
That's
oh
good.
yes. I mean, we are getting items on time. So for example, we just received a shipment today for books that are being released next week. So which is good.
Oh, that's.
So we'll have it right for the date of when they're released.
And I imagine that with the DVDs, I think that the writer's strike
Yes.
is going to impact a lot of the,
Yes.
not necessarily right now because they're with the movie still coming, but I imagine that going forward,
Yes.
it's going to go back to
Mhm.
almost like a COVID situation,
Yeah.
really.
Yes,
Where
and-
there's just nothing coming out.
And unfortunately, circulating DVDs, the statistic for it has gone down. That's due to streaming services.
Could be summer too, maybe.
Maybe people are out and about as opposed to staying in watching films, but there's just not quality content being put out.
Yep. Understand.
So like the big one coming out this or next week would be The Little Mermaid. So, that will definitely go out and circulate, not sit on the shelf for a bit. But, I do purchase newer items and they were sitting there, unfortunately. New titles, I should say, that were released. They're just not those big blockbusters that people look for, But on the bottom line on the budget, we are in good standing. We're getting close to the end of the first quarter, so you want to be roughly around 25%, and I believe with the payroll and additional invoices will be around 23%. So that's it for the budget.
Anybody have any questions or comments on the budget? Just need a motion.
Need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next we have old business. The update regarding the front awning replacement. So I did contact Jim. I got a hold of him, and he has been preoccupied with some personal matters that he hasn't been able to get here. But he completely understands that we need it done. It will be done before it starts to snow, was his words. And he is going to try to get here as soon as he can. But he's going to update me, every couple weeks just to make sure that we, can stay on track and get it up there, by the end of the season, I guess. So I should be hearing from him by the end of the month. And I told him that, if he needed any help or, whatever he needed to get that thing back up there, just to let us know, and we'll see what we can do to work on that. So that is the awning update. Does anyone have any questions or anything like that? Okay. Moving along to the update regarding the flower beds.
So last meeting, we received I mentioned the complaint that we received about the condition of our flower beds out front. That following evening, after our meeting here, I met with the Friends. It just happened to be that way. And the Friends agreed to take on or pay a landscaper to come by and take care of the flower beds. So that following Monday, so less than a week from the date of our meeting, we had a landscaper come in here. He took care of the flower beds. He removed the weeds, cleaned up, the edging, and did a fantastic job. And that was paid for from the Friends. So the patron who did complain about it was here sometime last week and complimented on the flower beds. So we took care of that situation, but unfortunately, it's been raining a lot. So I think next week we'll have more weeds, but that's just the nature of things. But at least it's cleaned up. So it was taken care of, and I think the landscaper who came and took care of it, and kudos to this young gentleman.
And now are the Friends going to continue to pay for the landscaper, or is that like a one-time thing?
So right now it's a one-time thing,
Okay.
but I am meeting with them in sorry?
The 4th, October 4th.
Yes. Yep, October 4th, and I will be meeting earlier to discuss the FY25 budget.
Okay.
So it is something on my list of items to see if they want to maybe, take it on, or there's also the beautification committee in the town. I do believe they are down a few numbers, so it's something that would be best discussed come springtime, because right now everything is on,
Right.
or on the verge of being on. But it was brought up at the meeting if they would like to, but right now at this moment it was a one-time thing.
Yep, perfect, that's okay. And then I think we would definitely try to, between now and the spring, try to figure out a plan so that when the spring comes, we're not like,
Yes.
what are we gonna do now?
Because there are a lot of perennials out there that, probably will come back again.
Oh,
And then it will be, a jungle in there.
Yep.
In the beds, but,
Yeah, but between now and then, we
Yes.
can always, either
Yeah.
figure out like whether we're gonna pay, or reach out to the beautification committee or whatever.
and even the landscaper said that, if we were interested, I was like, well, I will get back to you when we'll know for sure.
Yep, that sounds good.
I think the Friends are coming in August.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that would make
Makes
sense. Put it out there.
Sounds good. All right. Anybody have anything else to add? Good. All right. New business. Summer reading statistics.
So this is just an update on our past summer reading, which ended on
August 19th.
yes, that ended on August 19th. So just gonna dive right in here and start with the best part of it. So our summer concert series, we had 8 concerts in total. We had roughly 1,153 people who showed up to our concerts.
That's great.
And then August 29th, which was after summer reading, we had Music on the Porch Day, which was on a Saturday. Usually our concerts are held on Wednesday nights. And we had a performer called Dave Richardson, and we roughly had 50 people on a Saturday, which is not bad, you know, considering people were getting used to it on Wednesday night. And it was fantastic to see the crowds here. My only concern, and next year I hope to maybe put a table outside for the library with information about the library, library card sign-ups, and maybe even some books that you could check out, because when I would come in here, you know, walking around, it was crickets in here. You have like, you know, hundreds of people outside and no one's in here, except Tuesday. That's a different thing. So I kind of want to have more traffic in the building, and if they don't come in, maybe we can do it outside. So we do have access to our laptops where we could use workflows to sign up patrons for library cards, or if they want to renew their library card, you could do that outside. So I think next year I want to have more of a presence outside to connect the inside of the library to the patrons outside. Because it was just like, how can we, you know, it was just all of these people here and nobody was crickets inside. And you know, I know they're here to listen to the music, but it would be good for them to come in and use the library as opposed to just using the bathroom. So I thought
That's a good idea.
yeah, like, you know, even if you have a cart of books, like, you know, you could do children's books or fiction books, adult fiction books, or whatever, anything, or like new books, for example. You could wheel it outside and have a table out there with your laptop, and have a laptop out there, and we could do library card sign-ups. We could have all our brochures out there about our e-resources, or just our general brochure, like, hey, this is our library, this is what we offer. Because speaking to people outside, some of them, you know, never came here before. So if we could get them to come back here, aside from coming to a concert, I think it would be very beneficial to us. Because we have the people, they're just not coming in to use the library.
Plus, like you said, they might not know what it is that we offer. So by
Exactly.
saying, hey, you came for the concert, you might like this.
Exactly. And then the other thing is, you know, just hearing people outside and overhearing conversations and just speaking to people, they thought that the building was closed.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, we're open. Please go inside, you know, cool off a little bit if you want. I know they want to hear the music, but for some reason people thought we were closed, so you know, it's what happened was Sandra would announce in the beginning of the concerts, the library is open, you know, and people thought we were closed for some reason. So I don't know if a banner would help, but a presence outside with a table, you know, that way people have questions, they can come up and then you can refer them to go inside. So yeah, I thought that was like, oh no, we're open. No, we're here. So in addition to our summer reading concert series, we had programs and events for children. We had 16. Considering, you know, I came in June 1st, there was some events that were already scheduled. I just filled in the gaps with things that we could do on the fly. So like the movie, midday movie, drop-in crafts, and Lego club was also added onto our summer reading program. We roughly had 415 participants for those programs. The highest program was one that I added, was Mr. Vinny the Bubble Guy. There was roughly 150 people on the lawn chasing bubbles. So that was fun to watch. And then in terms of registrations for summer reading signups, we had 221 participants. And very quickly, the age categories, so we had from 3 to 4, which they received a big lead. We had 21. The biggest number of participants is the ages between 5 and 9, and that was 124. So those were the necklaces which with the tinier beads, and every week you would get 7 beads. And kids always seem excited to come here to select their new beads, because every week we will bring out new beads. The other age group is 10 to 12, which was 32. The teens, 15, and adults, we had 29. So that age, between 10 and adult, they had instant scratch, they had scratch tickets. So it's a ticket where you would scratch. We had 100 instant winners. So the instant winners get to select an item from our prize cart. The prizes on the prize cart range from a s'mores kit to books to candy to craft kits. And that's always a big winner. So it was split between adult side and, and then the children's side had children's books and candy and the s'mores also. And then, so if you weren't a winner, we had a raffle box that you were able to put your name and contact information, and then you were entered for a second chance drawing. So at second chance drawing, we select 10 of them, and each winner won a $5 gift card to Acushnet Creek. It's very the program, the summer reading program is very similar to years past, but it works well, and I will say, considering all circumstances, I thought it went really smooth this year. And next year, with now that we have a children's room assistant, we could add more events, maybe new ideas. So I really look forward to next summer.
Absolutely.
So that's it for summer reading.
Anyone have any questions on summer reading? Comments or anything? I think it went well. Now we have the director's report.
Favorite part of it. All right. So, I need to repeat. So on September 5th, we welcomed Ren, our new children's room assistant. She's the first person who is in this position full-time. So we are excited to have her here. So far, we have set up two drop-in crafts. Story time will resume September 27th. So we are excited for that. She's been preparing for all of the events. She has fit in perfectly. She jumps right in. She's asked questions. I couldn't ask for anyone better. So I'm excited.
Very enthusiastic.
Yes.
Great personality.
Yes.
Fun.
Yes.
Come on down and see Ren
Yes.
at the library.
So I'm super thrilled to have her on our team, and I look forward to what we can create in the future. The other thing that I've been doing this week, I started training for the state aid second part, which is a financial survey part. I did start working on it. It's pretty intense compared to the other one. So that's been going on. I was away I was on vacation from the 25th to the 4th. So a few things happened while I was away. A new staff computer was installed on August 31st, which is fantastic. It's just there were some hiccups. So that computer is basically the server to the public computers. So what happened was when it was installed, it wasn't communicating to the public computers correctly. So printing was an issue. So George, who's the IT from sales, was here, and he went over it, fixed it, so it's been resolved. We do have a slight issue with it, with one computer printing to a different printer, but it's not a big issue. So he will be here to install the others shortly, so I'm not even gonna bother with him because, or bother him about it, because he will be here, and it's working. The other thing that I discovered was that I was doing payroll this week. So on Monday, payroll, so Friday of last week to Monday, payroll had to be processed. So I'm looking at everyone's time card, and I'm like, wait a minute, this employee did not clock out. Oh wait, they didn't clock in the next following day. Oh no, this is not. So I'm like, well, it's like text. I'm like, you know, did you forget? They're like, no. I'm like, okay. So I put it aside, looked at another time card for another employee. They didn't clock in or out. I'm like, okay, something's going on here. So what happened was when the new computer was installed, it had Hopper's software, which is connected to our time clock. I wasn't aware that there was a software on there. So Harper's remotely installed the software, and it worked fine. It worked perfectly. We're back to normal. I apologize to caller because my payroll was a disaster because I was putting notes and I was putting people's time in, but in the end it worked out fine. So that's something I need to note in the future, is that that time clock that we have is connected to this staff computer, and there's a software on there. So if that software, if that computer is down, for example, we cannot clock in or out. So that was resolved within a day, so I'm very happy. But it's just for 4 days no one was clocking in. But nobody would have known unless they were looking at the back end. Another quick update, I received my certificate of librarianship. So I'm excited.
Congratulations.
Let's go.
Yes. So this was sent over, it was in the mail at home, and it's here. I will leave it here. And I also, not as exciting, I also did my ethics training this week.
That's definitely not as exciting.
Which they revamped the website, which was actually really nice. Because in the past it was a little tedious, but now it saves your information, so if you ever need to go back, you can get it there. And I will be having other staff do this shortly, because I don't know when the last time some people did it. But because the system is new as of January, it will retain that information, so I have at least half right now. I also started researching and will be doing, so the Mass Cultural Grants are due in October, so I am starting the process to apply for grants. There are options to apply. You don't have to just apply to Acushnet. So I was also going to apply to New Bedford and to Freetown. So they are neighboring towns. Those two places do borrow the most from outside of Acushnet residents from the Acushnet Library. There is guidelines. I looked at it. There is no restrictions as to if it was strictly just a Freetown place.
Okay.
So I'm going to put applications and push for that. In New Bedford, we're bordering New Bedford. We do have a lot of New Bedford residents here. Our summer concerts are open to everyone. So we'll see what happens with that. But
And are they just like generic grants to be used for anything, or are some of them specific, or?
The Mass Cultural Grants, they're specific to, in terms of if it's open to everyone, which we definitely.
Okay.
Some are music related, or live entertainment. So I guess you could even use that for example, we had Didgeridoo, which was an Australian performer with Australian instruments, but it was for kids.
Mhm.
So that could be used for that also.
Okay.
And I've also had concert performers from this year and some programs for children. They reached out to me if I would like them to come back again, because they would like to reach out to the cultural, write a grant, apply for a grant.
Oh, that's
And I'm
great.
like, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. The answer is always yes when you're trying to apply for a grant to come back. So, and they were well received. So one, for example, was the puppets that we had, Mary Paul puppet program. It was outside. We had roughly about 50 people. So that was fantastic. You know, it doesn't have to be strictly like music based or
Okay.
so I will be doing that very shortly, and I don't think I hear back from them until like later this year or maybe early next year. But I'm excited. I was like, oh, it came up as a deadline, October. I was like, oh, hold up, that's coming up really short. Another thing, I attended a sales annual meeting via Zoom. I was gonna go to Dartmouth, go see Dina, but but I didn't because we were short-staffed. So, and the big thing in the meeting, we do have a new executive director in sales, and it's Lori Lesnar. She was intern and she applied for the job. She received it and couldn't ask for anyone better to be the new director of the sales network. I think that's it from me. Everything else is pretty straightforward. Do we have any questions about anything that was said?
I don't have anything. I just saw that we're definitely on the town's internet. We're good with that.
Yes, so that was switched over in July.
Right.
So it was switched over, everything's been fine. The other issue that was there that I resolved it was sales needed their Comcast box.
Right.
I don't know which one it was. I went downstairs, stared at the boxes for a little bit, and was like, the one that's not lighting up is probably not up.
I like the deductive reasoning.
All right. So what I did is I unplugged it and then I was communicating with people. I'm like, is the internet still on? Yes. Perfect. So the way there's a lot of screws there. So that was the hardest part. Was the screws. But other than that, when George came, he took them off.
It's been returned.
It's been returned.
Fantastic.
I figured out which one.
Awesome.
So we are now all on the town's fiber optic network, which is super fast. In the future, we will be removing our phone line and going to the town's super fast phone line. But I don't have a date for that or anything yet.
Okay.
That's it.
That's good. Anybody have anything?
Nothing.
All right. The next meeting will be not Tuesday. It will be Wednesday, October 11th at 12:30, if that still works for everybody.
Yep.
Should work.
Sherry, that works for you? Diane, does that work for you?
Works.
Steve, works for you? Okay. Melissa, does that work for you?
Yes.
Works? Okay. So the next meeting will be Tuesday, October 11th at 12:30.
Got it.
And if we have no other business, we just need a motion.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. This September 12th, 2023 meeting of the Acushnet Public Library Board of Trustees is officially adjourned. It is 1 o'clock. Thank you.